In this video, I'll be showing you all the secrets for how to fish in Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is a video that will be great for beginners of the game who want to know more about one of the most popular activities in Animal Crossing. It's also a great way to make bells. We'll start out covering the basics of fishing, how to catch different types of fish, and then an extra special tip on a unique way to use fish bait. And we're starting right now. People of the internet's RetroRaconteur here, and welcome back to another Animal Crossing New Horizons video. If you guys are new here, we post 2 gaming videos each week, and if you enjoy the video today, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. But only if you love the video, of course. So where do we begin with fishing? Well, for starters, it's been one of the most popular activities since all the way back to the original Animal Crossing game for the Nintendo GameCube. And personally, it's one of my favorite things to do in the game. It's relatively simple to get started with fishing, but it can be difficult to fully master. Don't worry, we're going to cover it all here today. First, you'll need to obtain a fishing rod. You can either purchase one at Nook's Cranny using bells, or you can craft one instead. You'll get the flimsy fishing rod DIY recipe from Tom Nook fairly early in the game. If you don't have it yet, just keep completing your objectives from Tom Nook, and when he lets you know about a free crafting workshop, make sure you take him up on the offer. The flimsy fishing rod is fairly easy to craft as it only requires 5 tree branches. Just walk around shaking trees until you get 5. This particular rod will break after catching just 10 fish, but don't worry, you'll unlock better options as you continue to play through the game. Once you have your fishing rod, head over to any body of water and start looking for fish. You'll want to make sure you walk instead of run because running often scares fish away. They come in several different shadow sizes. Some have fins and some are longer and thinner. These shadow sizes are really only important when you're going after a specific fish, but more on that in just a bit. For now, position yourself in front of the shadow and press A to cast your line. If it's not anywhere close to the fish's mouth, then press A again to just reel it back in. You can then reposition and cast again. This can take a little bit to get used to, but eventually you'll start to understand the angles and be able to position yourself just right on the first or second try. Once you get the fishing line in the eyesight of the fish, wait. Do not press A and attempt to reel back. You'll see the fish get closer and closer and then start to nibble. You'll know it's nibbling because of the little bobber in the water. Now this is where things get interesting. Sometimes the fish will bite immediately. Other times they'll take a few nibbles first. What you're really looking for is the bobber going all the way under, a stronger vibration from your controller, and a slightly different sound as the bobber goes down under the water. As soon as this happens, press and hold A. Keep holding the button until you reel in the fish. And congratulations, you just caught your first fish. Fishing in Animal Crossing is purely about timing. If you're quick enough pressing A, you'll catch the fish every time. Press it too early or too late though, and you'll lose out on the fish. It's a pretty simple process, but you should know that rare fish usually require more precise timing. To be honest, the easiest way to catch the fish is to close your eyes. No, I'm serious. Close your eyes. At least once you have the bobber in their line of sight. Closing your eyes actually helps in a few different ways. First, this removes the element of you possibly getting faked out by a fish just going in for a nibble. Now you're just listening for the special water kerplunk sound that only happens when the fish bites. It sounds like this. And believe it or not, the sound actually comes ever so slightly before the visual indicator with the bobber going underwater. Some people don't have any trouble at all either way, but if you find yourself frequently missing some of the rare fish, you may want to try the closing your eyes trick. As someone who's been fishing in Animal Crossing games for years, I have to say it's honestly easier to close your eyes when you're doing the fishing. Now, when it comes to catching different types of fish, there are 2 things you need to know. The first thing is that many fish are seasonal in Animal Crossing, meaning they're only available to catch during certain months of the year. The Animal Crossing Fandom Wiki is a great place to see this information. I also put out a little guide each month to help you quickly see all the new fish. You can find it on my Twitter account or in my Discord. I'll put a link to all of these down in the description below. But it's not just about seasonality. The fish also spawn in specific locations and at specific times of the day. There's the sea, rivers, and ponds. There are also additional special locations such as the pier, river mouth, clifftop rivers, and clifftop ponds. All of this information is also in the monthly guide I post as well as on the wiki. So if you're looking to catch every fish, you'll need to get comfortable with all the locations in the game, as well as knowing which fish you can catch during specific months and specific times of the day. If you only play at a certain time each day, let's say in the morning, then you'll have to change your play habits to catch fish that only spawn during the evening hours. Or you can always time travel if that's something you're okay with doing. You'll most likely want to donate new fish to your museum first, but fish are also a great way to make bells, especially when CJ comes to town, as he'll pay you 50% more than the same fish at Nook's Cranny. Now, with so many rare fish only spawning at specific locations, you'll want to get familiar with fish bait. You can craft one fish bait for every one manila clam you find on the beach. These are the little shadows you see fairly often in the sand. Now, I mentioned an extra special tip regarding fish bait, and it's something I only learned just recently despite playing the game since launch. Okay, so first, the basics of fish bait. They're pretty simple. Walk up to any body of water, toss it out, and a fish will appear. From there, it's basically what we talked about before. But let's say you're going after a specific fish, like a blue marlin. Now, the blue marlin only spawns at the pier as a huge shadow. So if you throw out fish bait and get a small shadow, there's really no point in catching that fish. Now, what I would used to do is I would run around, scare it away, and then use another fish bait. Very often though, using this method, it would give me the exact same fish and also take up extra time. But here's the trick. Instead of scaring the fish away, just throw out another fish bait with the fish already there. The bait hitting the water will scare that fish away and a new fish will still spawn in. Of course, you use a lot more bait this way, but if you're going after a specific fish, this method is far more time efficient. After you catch all the fish in the game, you'll get the DIY recipe for the golden fishing rod. No, you will not see me with the golden fishing rod just yet, because at the time I'm recording this video, it's currently impossible to obtain the fishing rod without time traveling. And I'm not a time traveler. No worries if you are though. You do you. I mentioned earlier how I hoped you'd subscribe if you enjoyed the video, so if you want to see more Animal Crossing content like this, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the notification bell. Also, if you're a beginner, I have prepared a full Animal Crossing beginners playlist that I'll link to here on the right side of your page. Be sure and check it out. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.